Okay. Live.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh semua. Assalamualaikum. Perkenalkan sebelah saya Dr. Ahmad Yasir, salah satu fesi di Clinical Skills Workshop Medicorp lah. Okay. Jadi apa yang kami akan demonstrate hari ini adalah macam mana cara nak buat venous blood taking and granular insertion as Houseman. Ini adalah satu basic prosedur yang memang you all kena buat lah daripada taking dan di mana-mana department pun. Okay. So kami arrange sesi FB Live ni sebab kami di Kepoh yang area red zone, jadi tak dapat anjurkan clinical skills workshop. Jadi hopefully sesi ni akan membantu untuk adik-adik houseman yang nak mulakan taking ataupun yang dah jadi houseman nak refresh balik macam mana cara-cara blood taking yang betul. Okay, so kita akan demonstrate step by step. Kalau ada soalan boleh tanya dekat komen. Nanti saya atau Dr. Yasir akan attend towards the end of the session lah. Okay, so saya persilakan Dr. Ahmad Yasir untuk demonstrate blood taking dengan granular insertion.
Okay, thank you Dr. Idana. So Assalamualaikum and good evening everyone. So now we are in blood taking session. Alright. So when we talk about blood taking, first of all we need to know why do we do blood taking. Okay. So as per the indication of blood taking, first of all, of course, we want to diagnose a disease. We want to do a screening, and also sometimes we want to monitor the progress of our treatment. Alright. So when we talk about indication, there is also contraindication to do blood taking. Okay, there are certain types of patient or certain type of location that we cannot touch or perform blood taking or venipuncture. Alright, one of it, the most common is in case of patient with kidney disease. Sometimes they will have an AV fistula. Alright, and so kalau if AV fistula most common in our hospital, pakcik-pakcik dan makcik-makcik diorang akan refer as tapak. Alright, so we can identify this as tapak. When we approach that patient and then pakcik tu akan cakap, oh doktor saya ada tapak dekat sini. So be careful, that means that patient has an AV fistula, so avoid that side of an arm and choose the other side that has no fistula or tapak. Alright, so now we want to proceed further to the blood taking steps. First of all, when we start to think and performing blood taking, we have to gather all our equipment. So kena kumpul barang-barang dulu lah before kita pergi dekat patient. Okay, misalnya saya dalam ward ataupun dalam hospital nak ambil darah seorang patient. Okay, so first of all dalam setting ward kita kadang-kadang most of the time kita akan ada blood taking trolley. Okay, dia akan nampak macam trolley petak kecil and ada all the equipments that are needed dalam tu lah, dalam laci and also dia ada small drawers. Okay, but for today this will be our blood taking trolley lah. Okay, then after that we will need a kidney dish. They will look like this. Biasanya dia besi and will look like a kidney shape lah. Yang ni another type of dish. Okay, so kadang-kadang bila kita nak buat blood taking most of our colleague, most of the time kadang-kadang even saya sendiri pun kita akan panik dan kadang-kadang terlupa. Ada je barang yang kadang-kadang saya tertinggal. Saya dah bawa everything sampai kat patient, ni tak ada. Sampai kat patient, ni tak ada. And then need to go back and forth. So try to recall and imagine apa yang kita akan buat dekat patient. This will help you to gather your equipments. So let's say saya nak pergi kat patient, saya akan ambil darah dia. First of all, saya perlu tourniquet patient, right? So we need a tourniquet that will look like this. Okay. Then after I tourniquet my patient, of course I will need to swab patient with an alcohol. So I might need an alcohol swab. Okay. Then after I swab this patient, I will need syringe and needle. Okay. This is syringe and needle. Sometimes you will have a separated needle with and syringe, but this is the pre-assembled one. Okay. Then after that, I will need a blood tube for collection. Alright, they will have different color coded blood tubes in your hospital. Then after we have taken patient's blood, lepas tu kita nak tutup tempat yang kita tak cucuk tadi dengan dry swab. Alright, so you will have two type of swab or cotton. Okay, so now let's proceed with our blood taking procedures. So please remember, when you approach your patient to do blood taking, first of all you need to introduce yourself first. Okay, tolong perkenalkan diri dululah, sebab kadang-kadang kita pakai lab coat, kadang-kadang kita tak pakai lab coat, kadang-kadang name tag kita nampak, kadang-kadang pakcik tu tak nampak name tag kita. So kadang-kadang dia tak tahu kita ni siapa sebenarnya. Alright, so this is the most important step lah. Okay, please introduce yourself first to the patient. So macam contoh saya akan beritahu kat patient, Assalamualaikum pakcik, saya Dr. Yasir, saya bertugas dekat ward hari ni saya nak ambil darah pakcik. Then I will proceed terus dengan explanation and verbal consent dekat pesakit tersebut. Saya nak ambil darah pakcik, saya nak tengok kalau ada improvement fungsi buah pinggang pakcik. Okay, usually short and straightforward is enough. Then pakcik, patient akan cakap yes, okay, that is considered a verbal consent. Alright, then after that the third thing is we need to identify our patient. Okay, it is important, and remember, use an open-ended question when you want to identify your patient. Okay, what I mean by open-ended question is, pakcik boleh sebutkan nama pakcik? Right, this is an open-ended question, and avoid the closed-ended question. What I mean by that is, if let's say I know this patient names is Ahmad, okay, so I will go to this patient, pakcik, nama pakcik Ahmad ke? So this is the closed-ended question, and please avoid this because sometimes when we go to the patient at 5 AM, katakan pukul 5 pagi kan, pesakit tengah tidur, dan kita pergi kat pakcik tu, pakcik ni pakcik Ahmad ya? Anyone yang tengah tidur, even saya pun kadang-kadang saya akan angguk saja. Okay, dan masa tu mungkin kita akan buat satu kesilapan yang besar. Okay, and then after that, bila kita dah dapat nama pakcik, pakcik tu akan jawab lah Ahmad bin Muhammad contohnya. So next, kita kena tahu dia punya IC number. Okay, so cara yang sama, boleh sebutkan pakcik, boleh sebutkan IC pakcik. Okay, still an open-ended question juga. Ataupun katakan pesakit tersebut an elderly, maybe dia tak boleh nak recall dia punya IC number which is quite long kan. So we can still confirm with MRN, which is medical registration number kan. Ya, RN. Dan yang itu ada dekat tag patient lah, dekat list dia. So kita akan check RN, nama patient or IC dia. Then we need to compare dengan patient punya lab form ataupun case notes lah. Okay, so we can confirm that this is the right patient. Okay, alright, if all those three dah settle, then baru kita akan proceed dengan blood taking procedure. So saya akan pilih, macam saya cakap tadi, saya akan pilih tangan yang sesuai, yang tak ada AV fistula ataupun tapak, yang tak ada any sign of infection, dan tak ada any kind of injury lah to that hand. Okay, usually blood taking procedures kita akan pilih dekat antecubital area. Alright, so I will tourniquet this patient's arm. Alright, macam mana nak letak tourniquet ataupun di mana nak letak tourniquet, just remember 4 or 5 fingers from your area nak ambil darah is enough. So sometimes you nak ambil darah kat sini, so maybe tourniquet kat sini pun cukup. Okay, so 4 or 5 fingers. Alright, so after I tourniquet my patient, I will confirm my best vein or area that I want to take blood from. So I will use my 2 fingers, okay, to identify the vein, and also I want to confirm the direction of this vein. Alright, like this. If I use one thumb or one finger, I cannot identify the direction. Okay. Okay. How to choose vein yang terbaik kita nak ambil darah? Okay. kita boleh pilih yang visible plus palpable macam this mannequin hari ni. Okay, dari jauh pun, dari kamera pun boleh nampak it is visible, and kalau pejam mata saya sentuh pun saya boleh rasa it. So it is palpable, visible plus palpable. Alright, sometimes you tak nampak, tapi when you touch you can feel. So this is palpable. Alright. Then kalau tak jumpa juga, sometimes you can still use the visible one, but when you touch tak boleh rasa. So that is only visible but not palpable. You can try, but sometimes you cannot get the blood. So kalau katakan you dah attempt like a few times, 2 kali tak dapat, so please get help lah. Alright. Okay. So when I confirm with my vein, I will open my syringe. Okay. When you get your syringe like this, please check it first whether it is functioning or not. Okay. If the pre-assembled needle, make sure it is tightened and open carefully. Oops. Alright. Okay. So when you open your needle, you can see the every needle they have bevel. Okay, dia ada macam satu angle, dia akan ada nampak opening. Okay, we call that bevel. Okay, how to place our needle is make sure kita punya bevel facing up. Okay, dia menghadap ke atas macam ni, and hold your syringe macam ni using these 2 fingers and another 3 fingers to support on your patient's arm later. Alright. Okay, now I want to proceed.
Okay. In real life kita pakai glove Cuma hari ni Dr. Yasir demonstrate. Okay, kita tak pakai glove lah sebab kita practice dalam mannequin. You all make sure kena pakai glove Okay, please Yasir.
Okay, so I'm using my dominant hand to hold my syringe and needle. Okay, but please make sure you have your non-dominant hand to restrict your patient's arm. Okay, sebab kadang-kadang tak tahu patient tu boleh terkejut masa you nak cucuk, dan juga dia boleh terperanjat. Okay, and use your thumb to anchor the vein like this. Just tarik sikit ke bawah and hold. Okay. Alright. So when I do this, right before I enter my needle, okay. Oh yeah. Okay. So I swab patient with an alcohol swab first. Okay. Let it dry. Once you swab patients with alcohol, don't touch the area. If you, let's say you cannot confirm, you touch again, make sure you swab again. Alright. Okay, then restrict your patient's arm, anchor the vein. Okay, put your needle about 30 to 45 degree angle like this. Okay, right before you enter, sebelum kita cucuk patient, make sure kita warning patient tu. Okay, sebab apa? Kadang-kadang dia akan terperanjat. So cakap, pakcik saya nak cucuk ya, jangan gerak tau. So I will enter. Usually 1/3 of the needle is considered enough. Then I remove my hand to stabilize the syringe. Another hand, I pull the plunger.
Okay, you can see the backflow of blood here. Okay.
Alright. So if this amount is enough, then first release your tourniquet. Remove, standby with your dry swab. Remove and tekan sikit. Okay. Then you can put some micropore, or you can even ask patient to help pegang sekejap lah. Alright. Now you can put your blood to the collecting tubes. Okay. So don't forget, you need to discard your sharp to the sharp bin. Okay, the best way to discard your sharp is using your kidney dish and throw it like this. Okay. Okay, this is to avoid any needle stick injury to your nearby friends lah. Okay. Next, Branula.
Branula insertion.
So next is Branula insertion. Okay. Similar with blood taking, okay, you will need a tourniquet. Then you need your Branula. Okay, this is your Branula. it will come with different color coding, okay, according to the size lah. You will learn this in your hospital. Dekat belakang ni you boleh baca, dia akan tulis IV cannula. Alright, that is your Bronula. Okay.
Kena pilih appropriate size Cuma untuk mannequin ni memang kita akan pakai standard blue size lah. Blue size ni actually pediatric size. Usually adult you perlu pakai at least pink, green or green lah. Okay.
Okay. Alright. Then you will need another syringe for flushing later on. Okay. And then maybe you need another syringe also for blood collection. Okay. Then similar with the blood taking and dry alcohol swab, and also maybe standby a dry swab. Okay. Now I'm going to proceed. You have identify yourself. Okay, you have to identify your patient, explain what you want to do. Okay, dah bagi tahu kenapa nak pasang jarum and everything, and patient dah bagi verbal consent lah. Alright. So now kita akan proceed dengan Bronula insertion. Okay. So Bronula insertion just saya nak bagi tahu kalau dekat mannequin ni kita akan guna area sini, but in real patient please proceed starting from dorsum of the hand first. And then kalau tak jumpa dua-dua side, baru proceed cari atas sikit. Okay. Avoid straight away pergi dekat antecubital area because this is joint area. Okay, dia akan buat patient susah nak bergerak, tak selesa, dan juga kalau kita dapat, maybe dia tak tahan lama sebab dia akan tercabut sendiri. Okay, that's the reason lah. Okay, now let's say I have identified and saya nak letak Bronula dekat sini Okay. So saya akan letak alcohol swab dekat patient. Okay, saya akan buka Bronula. Sama macam tadi, bila dah buka Bronula, make sure dia boleh function lah. Okay. Maksudnya yang ni boleh freely mobile. Okay. Dan dia ada cap dekat belakang dia. Okay. Cap putih ni is important sebab kita akan guna untuk tutup semula nanti. So put somewhere yang you boleh reach later. Okay, preferably dalam kidney dish you sendiri. Okay, and then there is another type, another plastic yang boleh remove. Okay, so it will look like this. Alright, when you open the cap, sama macam needle tadi, dia ada bevel juga. Okay, bevel dia memang dah always facing up lah. How you hold your Bronula? I prefer to hold like this. Okay, using my two fingers, index and middle finger like this, and my thumb will fix the advancing needle. Okay, because sometimes if I don't do this, when I poke through the patient's skin, patient skin sometimes can be tough. Okay, kadang-kadang dia boleh tolak benda ni keluar masa you buat procedure. So I prefer to hold it and fix it. Okay.
Jangan lupa glove kita demo tak pakai glove. Okay, so on mannequin they all make sure you all pakai glove
Okay, let's say tadi macam saya dah letak alcohol swab and then saya bersembang dengan kawan sebab ada benda yang important, contohnya dah lama sangat, I prefer untuk make sure you swab semula. Okay. And then sama macam tadi, restrict your patient's arm, anchor the vein and warning your patient. Okay. Pakcik, saya nak cucuk ya pakcik. Alright, about 1/3 of the needle macam tadi, sometimes is enough. Now you can check if there is any backflow. How to check? Tarik yang belakang ni.
Okay. Dah nampak kat situ.
Okay, now you can see this backflow. Okay, please don't get excited lagi masa ni. Okay, sometimes you rasa macam yes dah berjaya kan, but not yet. Letak balik kat dalam. You need to push and advance. Okay, all the way towards the end. Then baru you slowly remove
the needle. Okay.
Alright. So now you have to stand by with your swab cotton. Okay. Take the cap. Okay. Now you have to tutup.
Okay, in real vision, backflow dia akan lebih laju dan kuat lah So you need to be faster. Kalau baru, minta senior houseman untuk assist you. Okay, sebab mungkin you tak anticipate mannequin ni dia punya backflow tu agak perlahan lah sebab tak ada pressure kan. Okay.
Yes. So bila dah macam ni, jangan ingat kerja dah siap lah Okay. First, please make sure you remove the tourniquet. Okay. And then take your flush syringe. Okay. Biasanya kita akan guna air water for injection lah dalam syringe ni. Then you need to flush it. Okay. Kenapa kena flush? Sebab kalau boleh tengok dalam ni ada darah kan. So sometimes kalau kita tak flush, dia akan clotted kat dalam. Then after that, kalau nurse nak guna untuk bagi medication, dia dah tak berfungsi. So banyak mana kita nak flush. Also according to, kalau once yang dalam ni dah clear, so it's considered enough. Okay, just remember, masa flush, make sure mata tengok dekat area depan sini lah. Okay, and also communicate with your patient. Okay, push slowly, and then if you see any localized swelling at this area, sometimes you have missed your vein. Okay, we call that bung.
Okay, so kena reinsert kalau macam tu, dan patient pun akan rasa sakit lah.
So you have to remove and do a new one.
Okay.
Okay.
So ni dah selesai. In real patient, you need to tape, okay, or secure the branula lah. Okay.
Okay, so bila kita dah tampal dekat ward nanti akan ada nama dia tegaderm. Dia macam looks like plastik besar macam ni. Make sure after that ambil marker pen and tulis tarikh. Okay, dekat tegaderm tersebut. Okay. Right.
Okay.
So later once patient can be discharged contohnya and staff nurse minta tolong you remove lah. Okay. Remove that tegaderm. So stand by a dry swab. Just simply tarik perlahan-lahan and tekan sikit. Okay, and then you can apply some Macropore juga. Alright. Okay, so similar macam tadi, when you want to discard your sharp, make sure you discard together with the using your kidney dish like this. Okay. Alright.
Okay, kalau tak ada soalan, terima kasih pada Dr. Yasir. Saya recap balik beberapa steps tadi. Okay.
Boleh.
Testing. Okay, saya recap balik important step dalam blood taking yang Dr. Yasir tunjuk tadi. First, you need to introduce yourself to patient. Okay. Second, you need to identify your patient at least by name and by IC or MRN. So at least 2 identification. Okay. So introduce yourself, explain the indication, identify your patient, and please be aware of the aseptic procedure. Okay, means mesti pakai glove. Okay, dan you mesti clean dengan alcohol swab. Okay, especially bila you dah sentuh semula, you have to re-clean back. Okay, sebab especially any puncture, okay, you ambil blood ke, you letak branula, especially kalau tidak aseptic atau tidak sterile, dia mungkin boleh jadi source of infection kepada patient. Okay, so be careful with that aseptic technique, sterile technique. And last but not least, be careful with needle prick injury. Okay, so bila you nak poke tu, bagi tahu patient jangan gerak. So kalau dia gerak, mungkin needle tu akan terkena pada kita. Okay. Dan kedua, prevention of needle prick towards for surrounding staff juga. So kadang-kadang this yellow bin berada jauh daripada patient, so you pusing tu, kalau you pegang sharp dekat tangan you, mungkin akan tercucuk staff atau patient yang lain yang tengah berjalan. That's why always put your throw into the yellow bin. Okay, saya rasa tu sahaja. Kita ucapkan terima kasih pada Dr. Yasir dan terima kasih pada semua yang join FPTAC ni. InsyaAllah kami akan arrange untuk prosedur lain pula. Terima kasih.
Finish.